there has to be things that are different. Good and not so good. Evil and good. And the choices we make are what make evil. The choices we made are what practically realize good in the overall will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes some complain and say, why, if Allah is, why is there evil? Evil is as a result of the choice you make. The existence for the potential of good and evil are there. The choices we make are what realizes and actualizes evil. And in this ocean in which He laid us, subhanahu wa ta'ala, the ocean of His will, sentenced to trials and to choices to make, He, subhanahu wa ta'ala, also has a ship of rescue for those who want to ride on the ship of rescue. بِإِذْنِهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. And He taught us so many things within this reality in which we are, and the reality of having a choice. And by the way, all of us and most of us perhaps brag of freedom of choice. Well, the freedom of choice implies you make choices between evil and good. And the evil pervades because we make choices that are consistent with that evil. And if good prevails, it is the choices we made in this will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in this will, in this qada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that are good. And the ship of rescue has so many ways by which to allow those who truly seek rescue and safety and najah to ride on that ship. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by His merciful love, through His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beautiful expression of that merciful love, He subhanahu wa ta'ala, through Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, instructed us to the so many ways to lead us to that ship of najah. Of what He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, ثلاث منجيات وثلاث مهلكات وثلاث كفارات وثلاث درجات. Three things rescue, three things cause to perish, three things atone, and three things elevate in degrees. My moments here with you is about the first one, and najah, rescue. The three that rescue. And these are the words of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the most beautiful expression of divine merciful love, and therefore the most effective ways for safety and rescue. ثلاث منجيات, three things lead to rescue. And subhanAllah, listen to that. Perhaps we expect other things, but these are about practicing. These are about actualizing what we claim inside of us. And what we have to have inside of us must be beautiful, must be consistent with divine beauty. And that must be actualized. So those three things are, number one, He said sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam, al-adlu fi al-rida wal-ghadab. Al-adlu fi al-rida wal-ghadab. First, to be just and fair and equitable, whether in conditions where one is pleased or in conditions when one is dissatisfied and displeased. whether I am under a condition in which things go my way, in every sense of my way, social, family affairs, financial, economic, political, personal, agreeing, disagreeing, under all circumstances. Things go my way and don't go my way. I agree, I disagree, I like, I do not like. Even in the face of those who hurt me and injure me and harm me. In the face of things I do not like, that are even evil. My response, if I am to ride on that ship of rescue in this ocean of the divine will, subhanahu wa ta'ala, I must practice fairness and justice. Whether it's for me or against me. At home, in family life, in the masjid, in masjid affairs, in society, in societal affairs, psychological, intellectual, at work, under all circumstances, I should be a walking Islam, a walking loving surrender to Allah Azza wa Jal, not only in my private moments of dhikr. That's very important. Not only in my moments in salah in the masjid, and that's very important. But I must exhibit that. I must actualize that in my life. In moments of ease and in moments of hardship. In moments of agreement and in moments of disagreement. When I'm obeyed and when I'm disobeyed. Al-adlu fi rida wal-qada. This is a ticket to the ship of rescue that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers in this ocean, tumultuous ocean of His will subhanahu wa ta'ala, of His qada and qadar subhanahu wa ta'ala. Al-adlu fi rida wal-qada. Of the characteristics of a munafiq, my dear brothers, hafizakumullah and sisters. Of the characteristics of a munafiq. And a munafiq, as you know, is the worst creature in the divine evaluation. Worse than a kafir is a munafiq. A munafiq is a person who harbors inside evil, the evil of shirk, the evil of kufr, the evil of rejection of the divine truth, and externally shows and exposes himself or herself as one who believes. And that's the worst of creatures in the scale of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. إِنَّ الْمُنَافِقِينَ فِي الدَّرْكِ الْأَسْفَلِ مِنَ النَّارِ, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says. And He sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this divine expression of merciful love, He gives us characteristics of a munafiq. And He says, if these characteristics are in one person, then that person is a full munafiq. A full munafiq, despite the fact that he or she says, I am a Muslim, and prays and gives zakah. أربع من كن فيه كان منافقا خالصا وإن صلى وصام وزعم أنه مسلم. That is, many ulama say this is nifaq al-amal, not necessarily nifaq al-aqeedah. What are these characteristics, Ya Rasulullah? إذا حدث كذب. When he or she speaks, he or she lies. That's a trait of a munafiq. If one has that trait, one has a trait of nifaq. And he says, وَمَنْ كَانَ فِيهِ وَاحِدَةٌ مِّنْهُنَّ كَانَتْ فِيهِ خَصْلَةٌ مِّنَ النِّفَاقِ حَتَّى يَدَعَهَا. أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Second, إذا اؤتمن خان, when he or she is entrusted with a trust, they betray the trust. Thirdly, if he makes a pledge, وَإِذَا عَاهَدَ غَدَرَ, if he makes a pledge, if he promises something, he betrays. He breaks the promise. He violates that. And fourthly, وَإِذَا خَاصَمَ فَجَرَ. And if he or she disagrees, fights, he is abusive. Disagrees, and people disagree wrongly and rightly. And assume this person even disagrees wrongly, maybe even rightly, but is abusive in that disagreement. Cheats, lies, foul words, loud, hurts, not concerned with the well-being of others. يصرخ، يضجر، يعنف, abusive. This is a trait of the munafiq. 4 of those characteristics, if they are together in one person, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's a full munafiq, despite the fact he or she says, I am a Muslim, and performs salah and fasts. May Allah protect us. Ameen. Al-adlu fi al-rida wal-ghadab. To be fair, my dear brothers and sisters, and just and good in prosperity or in adversity, for me or against me. And this requires a struggle inside of us, to uphold that internal characteristic that leads us to external reality of a mu'min al-khalis al-salih, to be rescued and to have a ticket, not free ticket, it requires striving, a ticket onto the ship of najah, the ship of rescue that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala offers us. Secondly, the characteristic that helps us be those in najah, on the ship of najah, in the tumultuous ocean of divine qada will subhanahu wa ta'ala. والقصد في الفقر والغنى أو في الغنى والفقر. القصد في الغنى والفقر. Balance, moderation, whether in times and in conditions of wealth and richness, or in conditions of destitution and poverty. That a person is muqtasid, a person is moderate, is balanced in the way he or she spends what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put into his or her hand of possessions, of ownerships. That we spend those in ways that are balanced, not extreme. Not because we spend in the way we want, in terms of satisfying the drives of our nafs. We must be muqtasid, we must be moderate and balanced. ولا تجعل يدك مغلولة إلى عنقك ولا تبسطها كل البسط, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says. Don't allow your hand, which possesses, in other words, metaphor from possession, don't allow it to be so stringent as to be brought to your neck to strangle you. Nor should you expand it freely and abusively. إن المبذرين كانوا إخوان الشياطين, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says. The spendthrift are the brethren of the devils, as Allah Azza wa Jalla says in the Quran. And the concept of being spendthrift and abusive and excessive in everything. In everything it is wrong. Whether I have or I do not have. Whether I have or I do not have. Excess in everything is wrong. It is a means by which I will not be able to be on that ship, to get on